if you're anything like me, you can't resist a bargain. So I was really pleased the last time I was in Aldi to be able to pick up this 8-piece T-handle hex key set for the princely sum of £4.99, reduced from £9.99. But a hex key set, you can't keep them in the cardboard box. So in this video, I'm making a simple rack to store them in. Hi, I'm Chris and welcome to the Handyman at Home channel. So it's not like I haven't got any Allen keys already. I mean, I've got this set and its nice little plastic holder. Sometimes difficult to get them in and out though. And if you're like me, you've got any number of sets that come with a smattering of hex bits. But the thing I liked about these was that they had a decent handle that allowed you to get hold of them and give them some real force when you're trying to turn, especially the bigger ones like these. Now in the box they were fitted in this piece of convoluted cardboard with a hole in the top and a hole in the bottom, and basically you thread the shaft through both holes. And there's any number of plastic shelves, storage units and what have you on Amazon that work on the same principle. But I just wanted something very simple, so just something with a hole in that you could slot your Allen key into. So I'm just going to use a length of this timber that was left over from when I strengthened the joists in my garage roof. I think it measures 120 by 44, but you could use pretty much anything. The good thing about this is it's roughly the right size for the longest Allen keys, so they'll sit about that sort of height, and that means that they'll be supported reasonably well and won't wobble around. Okay, it's a simple build, so let's get on with it. Now before we cut the timber to length, it makes sense to find the optimum spacing between the centres of the keys. And having played around a little bit, it looks like for these larger keys, 30mm between centres seems to be the optimum. Now for the smaller keys, 30mm seems a little bit too big. There's quite a gap between the handles. So I thought initially I'd try 20mm, but they're pretty much right next to each other. So tinkering around a little bit, I've settled on something like 23mm. Okay, I'm going to chop this end off to give us a nice clean end, and I'm going to position the first hole 30mm in. So from there we're going to do some positions on 30mm centres. So 13, 16, 19, 22. Now do the ones at 23. We'll have another 30mm at this end. Before I start drilling into the actual piece, I've got a test piece here. I've fitted a 10mm drill and I'm going to see how well the 10mm key fits into that. I suspect they might need to be a little bit oversized, the holes, just to make it relatively easy to get the key in and out. But we'll give it a go. Now it's not gone all the way through, but we'll get an idea. Impossible. So I think we're going to need probably a mil or 2mm wider hole to make that reasonably straightforward. So the next largest bit I've got is actually a 12mm spade bit, but we'll give that a go. Again, it's not gone all the way through with that bit, but yeah, I think ideally an 11mm bit would be the perfect solution, but I haven't got that, so I think I'm going to go with the 12mm bit for this particular key. So I'll work my way through the others. Well, there you go. Said it was simple. It's pretty much done. Couple of tweaks I think required. First one, getting the key into the hole, particularly for the smaller keys, can be a little bit, it's not difficult, but you need to be paying attention. So I think I might chamfer the entrance to the holes with a chamfer bit, just to give them a little bit of a lead in. So I'll probably do that on all 8 of them. Secondly, it's not the most stable when you've got it on your bench. So I think I might put a little foot on the back, just to give it a little bit more stability. Then give it a good sand down all over, and then I'll mark up on the front the particular size of each key so that it's very easy to find the one that we want. So I'll do that, and then hopefully we'll see the finished job. So I've chamfered all the holes. Unfortunately I couldn't do the 2 largest holes because my chamfer bit isn't large enough, but it'll do. I've given everything a good sand down, so it's nice and clean. So I've found this bit of scrap plywood which handily has a couple of holes pre-drilled in it, so I'll use this for the foot. Yeah, it's a bit more stable. Well, there we go, all finished. Only took me about an hour or so, all told. I put a couple of coats of varnish on the wood before I put the labels on. I was just going to use a permanent marker, but I thought, no, do a proper job. Put it on both sides because you never know which side it's going to be facing to you. The little foot, very handy. It does make it very stable. Also gives you something to grip when you lift it up and move it around. And that's one of the advantages, I think, of this simple approach, is if you're doing some work away from the bench, maybe outside, you can just pick the whole set of keys up and off you go. Carry them dead easy. Right, I think I'll call this one done. Thanks very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a like, click that thumbs up button, and if you've not subscribed, please do consider it. Helps me drive the channel forwards, so thanks very much for that. Okay, hopefully I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.